Hello viewers, I am Dr. Chelimala Srinivasrao, Senior Ayurvedic Doctor, Panchakarma Specialist, Sardar Patel Nagar, Kukatpalli. Today I am here to discuss a most common and discomfort which we see in our regular practice called a gastric problem. 90% of people come with one or the other problem like gastric. I have a gases, I have a acidity, I have a pain in the chest. So that is what the severity of this disease. So today we are going to discuss about that gas trouble. Generally it is called as gastritis. It's inflammation of the stomach, the meaning of gastritis. So generally in Ayurveda comes under amatva, where is the undigested food collected in your stomach, intestines, leads to gastric disturbances. What are the symptoms of gastric generally? There are many things, but sometimes people gets out of that. They don't think it's a gastric also. Sometimes it leads to a pain in the chest and the back of the chest, continuous belchings, burpings, and bloated stomach. And major complaint of gastric problem is, doctor, I have a severe pain in the chest with lack of appetite. Why? What is the reason for this? When we see in Ayurveda, the pathology is whatever the food you take, it will come to your food pipe and goes into your stomach. There the juices, the bile juice and the liver releases the enzymes, it gets digested there. From your stomach, it enters into a small intestine, and there the small intestine will take whatever the body is required, and it is supplied all over the body, which is required for our nourishment. And the unused food which is not utilized by our body will come into a large intestine, and this large intestine generally we call, say in a lay language, it's like a dustbin, but the dustbin has to be cleaned once in a while. But because of the person who is a vata prakriti, or because of the dryness of his body and the reasons, maybe his lifestyle, other food habits, this large intestine will start collecting the waste there, and that regurgitates as a gases to upwards direction. Generally we believe the gases has to be relieved from downwards, but people, when they feel gastric disturbances, they want to suppress it by taking some anti-gastric medicines, where it's only symptomatically they are downing that. But Ayurveda believes if we correct the whole system, the process what I said, from your digestion to the intestines, the gases will be relieved and there won't be a chance of regurgitation. Because when this regurgitation happens, your hydrochloric acid will be always in a burning, and it will always in the upper side only. And patient mimics with sometimes with the heart pain also. And with this of so much of huge gastric release as acid reflex, sometimes the patient starts getting erosions also. We call this the ulcers. So here, instead of treating the symptoms, we need to correct the whole process where the food collected in the intestine, stomach, enter into the large intestines, small intestines, should be properly evacuated and properly utilized from your body. And the reasons for this gastric disturbance and for all this is, main I see is the untimely food habits. Because as a person, if we work continuously, then only we are active. Similarly, our body, every 6 hours, if your stomach starts working, then only all metabolism will go in a proper way. How it works? Because if you take food, then only your stomach starts releasing the juices. If you don't take food at all, that goes into a sluggish, and that leads to all gastric disturbances. So first and the foremost, what I advise is have a timely food, even it is a little amount, but at least 3 to 4 times, even 4 to 5 times also, in a little amount of food you need to take. Then only your digestive system will be properly, it works. And the next thing is, nowadays what we have seen is the anxiety, where we call the modern terminology has given the name also anxiety neurosis. The name itself indicates the moment the person start thinking about, takes any stress, his gastric irritation will be more. And because of that, he gets disturbed and he starts thinking like something is happening in him. And again that leads to a mental stress. So it's a kind of a gastric irritation with your psychological thing, irritates a lot. And the name itself is anxiety neurosis. For this, generally we advise the person to be a positive attitude with a calmness and try to do a meditation. And yes, there are medicines which helps him a lot in that condition. And Ayurveda believes like all the rasas, like Madhura, Amla, Tikta, rasas, etc. rasas to be taken every day, so that your proper digestion will go in a proper way. And in whom we'll see these gastric problems? At any age we are seeing because of our food habits. People nowadays tend to have a outside food. We don't know what water we are taking and what kind of food we are taking. Because of this food which is already adulterated or which is not properly cooked is going to collect in your system, and that is after collection that acts as a toxins. And one more thing we see is the people who are eating in the late nights. As we see the digestion, if you have your dinner at early 7:30, 8 o'clock, you have a space of 4 to 6 hours for digestion. But nowadays, because of your lifestyle, because of your jobs, people are taking food at somewhere about 10, 11, even midnight biryanis also has come up. Imagine if a person at the time of digestion kala, it's called digestion time, is taking a food, that too oily food, biryanis, all other foods, and nowadays even if you see in reception, if you go any parties, you start taking with the salads. Salad is really good, but it's already open with a lot of dust on it. You start taking that and take a main course of biryanis and all these things and end up with the desserts like ice creams, cool drinks, whatever it is. So imagine what is happening with your stomach. At time of 10:30, you're taking such a food where normally it takes 8 hours to get digestion, but you're making that to clog in your intestines. And all this is the reason for all other diseases. Because this clogged, undigested food which accumulates in your joints will result in arthritis, and which if it is enters into your bloodstream, enters into your skin, you see a number of skin diseases. So my intention of saying is, whatever the problem you are suffering, the main reason could be this. So we need to treat this. To treat this, as a doctor, we'll definitely advise you medicines which normalizes your problem. At the same time, you need to follow the patya also. Like timely food will definitely, proper food will take over this problem. And no need to go for any antacids because they are only a symptom based. If you are really suffering emergency in condition, then only it will help you. Otherwise, we need to find a proper root problem treatment, and that can be done with the Ayurveda. And Ayurveda, we select the herbs like Trifala Churnam, which not only dissolves the clogged food, and there are some other medicines like Sukumara Kashayam and Patyatra Sharatrayadi Kashayams also. Regular intake of this, and there are therapies like Panchakarma, where we target to cleanse the intestines, like a Basti Virechana Kriyas, will definitely solve these problems if followed with all these things. That's it. I think this information is, if it's helpful for you. If still you want to have any queries, you may contact me. My number is 765 8909 501.